Hello, friends. How are we doing? We'll wait for a couple people to hop on, and then I have questions for you guys. I need help with some things. Hi, friends. Welcome. Thanks for joining me for some sprints tonight. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited because of the books that I'm going to be reading tonight. Let me know what y'all are reading. I'm really torn. I don't know what to use for my bookmark. How are we doing? How's everyone's day been? My day has been very productive. And I'm, again, so excited about the books I'm going to be reading tonight. So, okay, I will just let you guys know. I'm going to be reading A Forgery of Roses. I only have like 40 pages left of this book, so I'm definitely going to finish this. And then once I finish this, I'm going to be reading The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. My pre-order came in yesterday, and I'm so stinking excited. So I have to figure out what bookmark I'm going to use while I read this, and I need y'all's help on that. Hi, Chrissy. I hate that it's already 11 p.m. I know. I feel like with the UK time zones, it's really difficult. With like US, especially on the West Coast. Like my time zone, Pacific time zone, is so difficult with like UK time zone. So thank you for hopping on. That's really, really late for you. Hi, Nikki. Exciting. I'm really enjoying A Forgery of Roses. At first, I didn't love it. I thought that the plot was slow, like not the best in the beginning, but the second half of the book has actually been really, really nice. And I feel like Jessica Olsen actually has a pretty similar writing style to Stephanie Garber. Very like flowery, like purple prose type writing. So it's like the perfect start to reading The Ballad of Never After. I'm so stinking excited. I'm going to be writing and reading. Love that. Nikki, what are you reading? Ashlea, is that how you say your name? Welcome. Thank you for hopping on. Hi, Cami. Wait for the ending. Okay, I know. I don't know how I put this down last night. I was so tired, but I was like, I need to know the ending because it's getting so juicy, so suspenseful. I feel like the second half of this book really started to get into very suspenseful cliffhangers each chapter, which I love. And also, Miss Stephanie Garber does that. Literally every single chapter is a massive cliffhanger, so you never want to put it down. It's getting very brutal in the end, like very bloody and crazy, and I'm loving it. The Odyssey, my own personal Odyssey at this point. Hopefully it doesn't take you like 20 years to finish it, because that book was actually really good. I feel like if you just keep a steady pace with it, Nikki, you'll be able to finish it. Taking 30-ish years here. Yeah, literally. You're going to be mad at me, I think, with the ending. Well, first of all, Chrissy, I can never be mad at you, but now I'm so curious. Okay, so we might get into our first sprint relatively quickly because I cannot wait to finish this. Like, I'm so close. I'll definitely be able to finish this in the first sprint because I think our first sprint, I want to do maybe 40 or 45 minutes. Let me know what you guys want to do as well. I'm so excited. Honestly, I feel like ever since I filmed my fall TBR video, my autumn TBR video, I've just been so excited for all the books that I talked about. And also, there's so many books that I didn't mention in that video because it would have been a million years long, but I'm just so excited. I'm so excited that it's fall, you guys. I need to finish Nothing More to Tell. Okay. Chrissy, especially because it's so late for you, let's jump into this first sprint so you can get some reading done. Also, Kimmy, I loved your Stabathon video. Sorry to use this as a chat room, Tori. No, I love that. I am so excited for Stabathon. If you guys haven't seen Cammie's announcement video and all of the other co-hosts to Stabathon. Go check out their videos, maybe while we're in our first sprint. Stabathon is so fun. It's taking place the first week in October. Cammie, correct me if I'm wrong. And the announcement videos are so cute. And also they have an Instagram called Stabathon. And the announcement reels and stuff on there have been literally adorable. Cammie just kills it with her acting. Alrighty, I'm going to start this sprint. We're going to do 40 minutes for our first one, and then we can kind of take it from there. Yes, the first week of October. Okay, perfect. All right, we are going to start this first sprint. We're going to do 40 minutes. Happy reading, everyone. Also, let me know if you guys can hear this ambient room because it's so cute. Hold on. Happy reading. That bell was so loud. I'm really sorry if that scared anyone else. How did we all do? I finished A Forgery of Roses. Hey, let me pause this. So let me know if you were reading. How many pages did you read? How are your books? Yeah, so I finished A Forgery of Roses. So I read about 40, a little over 40 pages in that sprint. And I have mixed feelings about this book. I did like the ending. I actually liked the ending more than any other part in this book. I don't know. Words are a little bit difficult right now. I liked the writing style because it's very like purple prose. It's very descriptive and pretty. I also liked how anxiety and long-term illness were represented in this book because her sister has kind of like an IBS. And I really liked how they talked about it. Like I really liked that part of it. But the plot just felt very jumpy. It was like we were jumping from one thing to the next. It was a little bit all over the place. It didn't feel very cohesive at times. But I actually did really like the ending and it was very suspenseful too. So this was fun. How were your books? How was that sprint? Or if you weren't reading, what were you doing? How was writing or being productive? I'm so stinking excited to start The Ballad of Never After. Also, I need to just show you guys. This is the Barnes & Noble edition because I have the Barnes & Noble edition of Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I wanted to get the matching one, obviously. And this is the naked book. It is so stinking pretty. I love it so much. And then this copy is signed as well. I literally freaked out when this got delivered to my door last night. And then the map as well is so pretty. Love it. Literally love it so much. It's so stinking pretty. So the next sprint, I'm going to be starting this book. And I can't wait. Read 54 pages. The book is almost done. That actual ending though, the epilogue ending, it got me wanting to read a sequel ASAP. Yeah, the ending was odd. I went on Goodreads after I finished it and I was looking up to see if there was a sequel. Jessica Olsen does have a second book. It's like Singing About the Forgotten or something like that. But it's not a sequel. And it was a very open-ended ending, which was just really weird. So maybe she was expecting to write a sequel and then didn't get, signed for another book. Let me see. When was this published? Was this published in 2022 this year? So maybe she will come out with a sequel. The only thing is though, I don't know that I would read a sequel to this book because the plot felt very, I guess, like immature. Like her plot development felt a bit immature to me. And I didn't really enjoy it a significant amount to be like, oh my gosh, I need to read something else by Jessica Olsen. But maybe in the second book, she will mature a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for my Owl Crate edition of the ballad. I love that for you. Hopefully it comes in soon. I'm literally so excited to get to this next book. I'm dying to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Okay, you guys. Once Upon a Broken Heart is so good. So if you've read the Caraval series, Once Upon a Broken Heart is a spin-off series of different characters, but you meet the main male love interest in the Caraval series in Legendary. And he's such a vibe. Like, the only thing is, so it's Jax. It's like a spinoff series of Jax, and then Evangeline Fox is our heroine in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And it's really good. Like, if I had to pick one or the other, though, I would say the Caraval series is a little bit stronger. Like I felt so much more captivated by the Caraval series, but it's the same writing style. It's the same like purple prose, very descriptive, pretty writing style. And Stephanie Garber's like suspenseful cliffhangers after every chapter. I feel like I'm going to read this. Like I feel like I'm going to start this tonight and finish it tomorrow. That might be the goal because honestly, I just can never put her books down. It's so difficult for me. So yeah, Evangeline Fox is a little cutie pie, honestly. She is a very strong-willed female main character. She's kind of like Tella, if you've read the Caraval series. So she's very like daring and just like willing to do what it takes to like do what she wants type thing. So I really love that. And she has like rose gold, pinky long hair, which is stunning. And it kind of takes place in this winter wonderland setting. So it's just like the perfect fantasy romance, like fairy tale setup. And this is talking about this is making me want to just dive into this book right away. I still need to read Legendary and Finale, but the binge read will happen. Yeah, I would recommend reading Legendary before starting Once Upon a Broken Heart because then it's going to make a lot more sense. You don't necessarily, it would help if you read Finale as well. That's ideal, but reading Legendary so that you get that kind of soft introduction to these characters would be the most helpful. I'm on a book buying ban, so I'm waiting for it to come in from the library. I love that for you, but also please buy this book. It's so pretty. You need to read it, Cami. No, I feel that. I have been kind of on a book buying ban as well. I have a couple pre-orders that I pre-ordered in the summer because I was so excited for them, this being one of them. And now I'm trying to like really just take it slow because I have so many books that are just on my shelf, like on my physical TBR that I need to get to that really fit the fall vibes. So yeah. Okay. I think I'm ready to get into this next sprint. Oh, but first, I need you guys to help me pick out a bookmark for The Ballad of Never After. I don't know what I want. I don't have any that are like super cutesy girly besides these little flower ones. They're like clear flowers. So I don't know how well these are going to show up, but I have these like clear little flower ones that are really cute. So I might use one of those, or I just have this really cutesy one that says, note to self, you do not need to buy more books. Wow. I think that's fate, Cami, that I just held up this bookmark. Do not disturb me and TBR. It's just like a really cute bookmark. And it kind of fits the vibe of like cutesy, The Ballad of Never After. Or I could use this one of Jude and Carden, which is so cute. And I know that The Ballad of Never After and Jude and Carden are different vibes, but it's fantasy romance and I love them. And this is literally the cutest thing in the entire world. So please help. Which one should I use for The Ballad of Never After? Oops. Help. I have them, just need to make time to read them. Just my sick brain not wanting to read and getting seriously distracted, but I want to read. Yeah, I feel that. I've been feeling a little bit sick this week as well, and I feel like I'm going through the same thing, just kind of like brain foggy, and I'm getting distracted very, very easily. But I've been doing a reading challenge. So spoiler for an upcoming video, I've been doing a reading challenge of reading 100 pages every day. That's what I've been like filming and working on this week. And I feel like it's actually helped me to just know, like, if I just want to read 100 pages in a day, that's like my minimum. But it's actually caused me to read way more than 100 pages every single day. So that's been really, really helpful. Alrighty, let's get into our next sprint. I think I'm going to do 40 minutes again because I am going to heat up some spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. And then start this book. Okay. I'd say a pressed flower. Oh, I got the evil quarantine monster. It's been a crappy week. I am so sorry to hear that. I hope that you start to feel better soon. And I agree. Let's go with one of the flowers for my bookmark. I think I'm going to do a rose because that just seems really cute. So we'll do that. Perfect. I will start our timer and we will get into this next 40-minute sprint. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. It's been so long since I got a book and I've been so just bubbly excited to start reading it. I cannot wait, you guys. Okay. So we will start this next sprint. Happy reading, everyone. Hello, my friends. How'd we do? How many pages did you read? Or if you're doing something else, what did you get up to? I need to fix how loud that timer is. 1 second. It is so loud. Oops, sorry. Anyways, I read, let's see, 28 pages of The Ballad of Never After. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. And I'm really liking it. I've just missed Stephanie Garber's writing. I love her writing so much. I love her characters. And also the names of her characters are so funny. Like they're just so good. So we have Evangeline Fox as our main character. And then there were a couple new characters that were introduced. I just want to read you their names. Christoph Nightlinger, Lucian Jareth Acadian. Like, what is with these names? And then there was one more. Lord Robin Slaughterwood. I was like, okay, sis, going off with these names. Oops. Hi, Nikki. That's okay. I also had dinner. I ate some spaghetti and meatballs at the beginning of that sprint. So I'm hoping that the next sprint I'll be able to read a bit more. Wrote 231 words. That is amazing. How is your book going? Like, I know that when we were together, you kind of talked through what it was going to be about and stuff like that, but how far into it? Like, how far into writing your book are you? How are you liking the book? My copy is coming in, even though I haven't read the first one in the duology. I love that. I literally love that. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I just missed Stephanie Garber so much. This is the first book that I've actually been like so excited for in a really long time. Like the last book that I think I got this excited for to like arrive and come in and all that stuff was House of Sky and Breath, which wasn't my favorite book. So yes, very, very excited for this one. And also Nikki, Sarah just started reading Legendary and I literally was texting her and I was like, I need sentence by sentence updates, please. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I honestly think that I want to try to finish this by tomorrow. I just want to be at that level of crazy obsession with this book. And I've just been in such a reading mood lately. Like all this week, I feel like I've really been reading a lot. But I think it's because I have so many books that I'm so excited for to read this autumn that I'm like, okay, I need to get through these, but in a good way, not like in a reading slump, like it's gonna put me in a reading slump way, like actually just very, very excited. Let's have a disappointment. Yeah, unpopular opinion, but I was not here for it. So yeah. How was everyone else's reading? If you're just joining, please let me know what you're reading. I'm just in a mood tonight, you guys. I'm in such a good mood that this book came in last night. Also, I feel very accomplished that I finished A Forgery of Roses right at the beginning of these sprints. The other book that I'm currently in the middle of, yeah, Nikki texting in our group chat. That's so funny. The other book that I'm currently in the middle of is a YA horror book, obviously. It's called To Break a Covenant by Allison Ames, and I'm listening to it. I'm 8% of the way into it. I just started it this morning, and I'm also really, really loving that book. So that book is about this group of girlies who are like teenagers. I think they're 15 or something like that, and they live in this mining town, and the mine exploded a long time ago and it killed 16 people, and then under the mine there's all of these like coal fires which made the town inhabitable. So the townspeople had to move, and they moved just to the edge of like the coal smoke. And there's all these weird things that are continuing to happen to these townspeople. So this group of girls takes it upon themselves to go into this mine and figure out what in the heck and bob is going on. And I love it so much. I love it. I think the dialogue is really, really fun with how far that I've gotten into the book so far. So yeah, loving that one as well. Not me just in the middle of like 3 different books, but you know how it goes. How long do you think you'll be sprinting tonight? I think that I'm going to do probably 2 more and maybe make them a little bit shorter, like 35 and 30 minutes. How are we liking the 40-minute sprints? Has that been a little bit too long for folks, or do you want to keep the 40 minutes? Because I could kind of do anything. We're up for anything tonight. I'm just in the reading mood and I'm here vibing. So yeah, probably 2 more sprints. And depending on the length, it doesn't really matter to me. So yeah. Let me know also, do you have any books that you are absolutely super excited to get to this autumn? For me, it's all of them. Literally all of them. Finished my book, so ready to pass out. Hopefully you enjoyed the sprints. Next time, I'll stick around longer. I will try to do it at an earlier time for you, Chrissy, next time, but I appreciate you joining, and I'm glad that you finished your book. How productive. All right, let's pop this back up. I'm going to stick to 40 minutes on the sprint, unless you guys want to do something different. So I'll give you guys a second in the chat. Is 40 minutes okay? I am just so excited. So you want to pick up Serpent and Dove? Buddy read with me. Yeah, I'm totally down to buddy read, Nikki, as always. I also really want to get to The House with the Chicken Legs soon, which is that Baba Yaga retelling. It's a middle grade like spooky story, like cozy spooky story. And Nikki, I know that you wanted to read that as well. So let me know. 40 minutes is good. Yes, let's do it. I love Baba Yaga. I feel like I've read books with Baba Yaga in them, but I've never actually read the true myth of Baba Yaga, but she's supposed to be like a very powerful witch. So even though it's a middle grade, but I'm very excited. Okay, so we'll do another 40-minute sprint. Happy reading, sprinting, writing, productivity. Let's do it. Hello, gorgeous reading angels. How'd we do? I read, let's see, I think I read like 45 pages and I'm living. I'm literally living. I think that I like Jax a lot more in this book than I did in Once Upon a Broken Heart because he's just such a vibe. He's so cute. And also like Stephanie Garber's messy plots and like relationships and characters. I am just literally obsessed. So, how did you guys do? If you're just joining, let me know what you're reading. Hi, Cami. How was dinner? What did you have? Also, Nikki, let me know what you had for dinner. I love talking about food. Hello, just got here and I can do a few sprints tonight, have work in the morning. Well, thank you so much for joining. Let me know what you're going to be reading. Also, if anyone had work today, how was work? I'm sorry. I'm just like so obsessed with this book. I'm so happy that I switched to reading this tonight. Anyways, yeah. How's all of our books? We will probably be doing one more sprint, maybe like a 30 or a 35-minute sprint. Hello, Scorpio Queen. Hey, I'm just joining. I'm reading The Sorority Murder by Allison Brennan. I haven't heard of that book before. How are you finding it? It sounds like a thriller. I've been kind of enjoying thrillers a little bit more. Usually I'm a horror girly, but I started reading the Truly Devious series and I finished The Vanishing Stair earlier this week and I really, really enjoyed it. And also someone was telling me, I think Chrissy was telling me that she was reading the author of One of Us is Lying, Karen McManus or something. Let me look it up. And that one also sounds really, really good. Yeah, Karen McManus. That one also sounds really good. So I feel like thrillers in the fall are just amazing. Hi, Mariah. Thanks for joining. Just joined, got home from work. If you're going to be reading, let me know what y'all are reading. Rereading A Court of Mist and Fury and on page 300 now and work was long. I'm sorry you had a long day, but wow, A Court of Mist and Fury, that is absolutely stunning. Is this your second reread or what reread is this for you? I have only read A Court of Mist and Fury once and I've been meaning to reread it pretty much all year and I just haven't gotten around to it. But then I read A Court of Silver Flames and I was like, wow, I really just want to read A Court of Mist and Fury. But there's just been so many good books on my list this year that my rereads have kind of taken a back seat. And I need to get on that because I didn't tab it the first time that I read it, which mistakes were made. You know what I mean? So I need to reread it and tab it because I tabbed the heck out of A Court of Silver Flames. It's pretty slow right now. I hope it picks up soon. Yeah, I feel like thrillers usually have some setup to them and then they usually get faster around the 40 to 50% mark. But yeah, hopefully it starts to pick up for you. I'm trying to think of other thrillers that I've read that I really enjoyed, but it's kind of been few and far between. I really liked Verity. That one like really stands out in my mind, but I know that Coho is kind of a local recommendation. She's not anything crazy. I think I read The Wife Upstairs by let's see. Yeah, The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. That one was pretty good. I gave it 3.5 stars. But yeah, thrillers aren't a main genre for me because I feel like they're very, very hit or miss. Like either you're super into a thriller and you're loving it, or it's just kind of like meh. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of others that I've read, or if I have any on my autumn TBR. I think I've mainly chosen fantasies and horrors for my autumn TBR because that's just the vibe. Yeah, I liked The Wife Upstairs. I thought it was good. I need to read more from Rachel Hawkins. I feel like once I find a thriller author that I really enjoy, I stick with them. I also do like Dean Koontz. I read False Memory by Dean Koontz, and he does like psychological thrillers, which are really, really gripping. Like you will not want to put those books down, but they're long. Like False Memory was really, really long. I only read mysteries and thrillers. Love that. I think it's my second time rereading it. Love that for you. I just had a thriller pop into my head and I totally forgot. Wasn't a huge fan of The Wife Upstairs. Yeah, like I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't the worst thing that I ever read. I feel like with thrillers, if I'm really not into it, I don't even rate them. Like I just DNF them because I'm like, this wasn't it for me. But I finished The Wife Upstairs and I gave it 3.5. Second time reading it, yeah. No, I haven't read Intensity, but I've heard that that one's really, really good. I feel like a lot of people, when they say that they've read Dean Koontz, they say that Intensity is really good. So I need to read more from him. Absolutely. I'm literally dying. I was just thinking of a thriller and I completely forgot. Maybe it was an author. Anyways. Oh, man. Anyways, it's killing me that I can't remember. I gave The Wife Upstairs 3 stars, but I'm harsh because it was a Jane Eyre retelling. Was it really? I didn't realize that. I also need to read Jane Eyre. But I recently tried to read if my friend Sarah was on these sprints, she would laugh at me because I recently tried to read Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. And it was such a struggle for me that I was like, I can't do this. I need to DNF it. I will return, but so that put me off of classics for a little while. Although I do want to read Dracula for like autumn because I feel like that would be such a vibe, and I'm a little bit scared at this point. So we'll see how it goes. I have that on my list, but I love the movie of Intensity. I'll have to add that to my movie list. Oh my gosh. Cami has the best movie recommendations ever. Like all of her scary movie recommendations. Kimmy, we actually need you to post your list of movie recommendations because you had a whole like autumnal, spooky, scary, like cozy, spooky, but then also horror movie list. And I need to have access to that because it was chef's kiss. It was perfect. Wuthering Heights is so dense. Yeah, I got the Penguins Classic Deluxe Edition, so it has a really, really pretty cover. If I was next to my bookshelves, I would go and get it. It was literally stunning, and I started reading it, and I read the first, like, 3 chapters, and I was trying to buddy read it with one of my friends, and she was like, "Don't you have, like, the footnotes at the bottom of your pages?" And I was like, I have no footnotes. I am just out here trying to understand what is happening because it's very, like, old-timey language, and she was, like, almost translating for me. She was like, "Oh, my copy has footnotes, and, like, this is what this means and whatever." And I was like, "Wow, that would be helpful. I wish that my copy had footnotes," and hers also had, like, a family tree. I was like, "Wow, that would be really nice." So I think what I need to do, I haven't given up hope because love Wuthering Heights. I've heard it's amazing, and so many people have told me, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it." Like, it's right up my alley, but it was just really, really dense and difficult to get through. So what I want to do is kind of go through Spark Notes and put really helpful notes in my copy of Wuthering Heights and then return to it so that it's, just a little bit more palatable. But I really liked the sense of humor in those first couple chapters. It was actually really, really funny, but again, it was just like the language was difficult for me to understand. What's a good classic to start with? What kind of classic are you looking for? Because I would recommend The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. It's a very approachable writing style, but it is definitely a difficult read because it's very difficult subject matter. But in terms of readability, it's very, very good. I would also recommend if you're looking for like a true classic, I also really like The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's one of my favorite classics, and I find it to be very approachable. I would recommend watching the movie remake that had Leonardo DiCaprio in it, because that movie did such a good job of really just bringing to life the words in the book. So watch that movie first and then read The Great Gatsby. And I think that you'll just be able to picture the scenes from the movie in your head while you're reading the book. I really, really loved doing it that way. I also read The Odyssey recently by Emily Wilson. It was translated by Emily Wilson, and it was amazing. Like, it took my breath away because I was very intimidated by the Odyssey, if you like Greek mythology, but she wrote it or translated it in a way that was so incredibly approachable that I actually enjoyed reading the Odyssey. It was so crazy. So yeah, I have a lot of classics. Also, anything by Oscar Wilde is so approachable, very like gothic writing style. So I really need to read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, but I read one of his short stories called The Canterbury Ghost, and it was incredible. It was so funny. I was laughing out loud. It was like reading a Scooby-Doo episode. It was so funny and so approachable. So there's a couple recommendations for you. But classics are actually really fun. I do totally understand that some of them can be very intimidating. However, there are approachable classics that are out there. Yes, please post your movie list. Sorry for just going on a rant about classics for 5 minutes. Yeah, very dense. I need to get some notes and return to it. I had to be in the correct mood for it because it's a lot. Definitely not the same vibe as Jane Eyre. Yeah, one of my friend, I think my friend Sarah read Jane Eyre and she like really, really loved it. And I need to get to it. Yeah, I feel like so many people love Jane Eyre, so I would say that's probably another approachable classic. I just haven't gotten to it yet. The Bell Jar is amazing. Gotta reread that. Yeah. I read The Bell Jar for the first time, I think, when I was in high school, but I have it on my Sad Girl Lit TBR. It's amazing. It's such a good, impactful book, but it is definitely heavier. I liked The Great Gatsby as well, but my favorite book is The Catcher in the Rye. That's such a good one. I love The Catcher in the Rye. It's amazing. Also, Lord of the Flies. I don't know if that's truly considered a classic. It might be more of a modern classic, but I remember we got to read it in high school, and that was the first classic that I read that I actually really, really enjoyed. Lord of the Flies is extremely approachable, and it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Alrighty. How do we feel about doing our last sprint? I think we'll do 30 minutes for this last one. I'm just so excited to get back into this book. I'm in such a reading mood tonight. Let's see. Let me make sure that this is, I'm not going to get to the end of the video like last time. Okay, so we will change this to 30 minutes. And we're going to get some reading done, or writing, or productivity, whatever you guys are doing tonight. So, happy sprinting, everyone. You guys, I am unwell right now over this book. I'm probably making the weirdest faces. I'm literally just like the whole time because it's so suspenseful. I'm dying. Anyways. Yes, this is the Barnes & Noble edition of The Ballad of Never After. Because I got the Barnes & Noble edition of Once Upon a Broken Heart. So this is the dust jacket. But even the naked book is really, really pretty. It's all foiled. And I'm obsessed. And it was only $20. Like, and it's signed. Thanks for joining, Nikki. Joining mid-sprint, but I need some help tackling my TBR. All right. Hannah, let us know. What are the choices? What are the options? Also, how did everyone do with that sprint? I read 23 pages. I'm so unwell over this book. Honestly, when I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jax, but I feel like him in this book, he's amazing. Even though I don't usually like blonde hair, blue-eyed love interests, he's a vibe in this one. I read 38 pages, but I'm going to bed. So good night, all. Thanks for joining, Libby. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that was our last sprint as well. So I'm going to be hopping off soon too because me and my boyfriend are going to get Mexican food tonight, and I'm so excited. Read 20 pages, but I'm glad that you are enjoying your book. I am eating. I am living. I am eating. It is amazing. Stephanie, I'm reading The Ballad of Never After as well. And I see that you are holding up Caraval in your picture. I love Caraval. Tella is one of my absolute favorite characters of all time. I love Dante. I love tall, dark, handsome tattoos. Like, that is my bread and butter. So that's why I was a little bit like hesitant about a spinoff series about Jax. And I liked Once Upon a Broken Heart because I am just a Stephanie Garber stan. Like, I will give that woman all of my money always. But I have to say, like, I am so invested in this book right now. I'm probably going to stay up late and see how far I can get after dinner. It's happening. Joined mid-sprint reading The Savage and the Swan. Thank you so much for joining. That book sounds so familiar and I just can't like think of it. So I'm looking it up. The Savage and the Swan. And how are you liking it? By Ella Fields. Ooh. Already, this sounds good. The King of Wolves was more beast than man, more tyrant than king, and so much more than he seemed. Raised to avenge his murdered parents, he'd been trained and conditioned until nothing but violence and hatred lined the walls of his dead heart. For nearly 4 years, I'd done all I could to help my kingdom as we faced the Wolf King's unconquerable evil, hardly anything at all. As the only heir to the Gracewood line, I'd been relegated to menial tasks that would keep me and my secrets safe. A chance to do more than fret behind our castle walls arrived when I breached them after overhearing my parents' plan for my future. Fleeing, I unknowingly raced into a fate we'd all desperately hoped to avoid. But by the time I saw him coming, it was far too late. This sounds really good. Yeah, let me know how you're liking that. Caraval was my favorite book of last year. The Caraval series is one of my favorite series of all time. It helped me get back into reading. That and the Fable and Namesake duology by Adrienne Young got me back into reading in 2020. I'm liking the ballad much more. Okay, thank you. I'm glad that I'm not the only one because I know a lot of people really did like Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but this one, I feel like I have been gripped ever since I started it. I love it so much. Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to be reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It's a good time, quick and easy read. Okay, I am adding it to my want to read list. Lord knows I don't need to add more books to this never-ending list, but it sounds really, really good. And it's short as well. It's only 348 pages, so I'm sure it's like paced. Wait. I just scrolled down to the bottom of The Savage and the Swans like synopsis on Goodreads, and it says, inspired by Hades and Persephone, Rumpelstiltskin, and the Swan Princess, The Savage and the Swan is not connected to any other Ella Fields novel. It's a full-length standalone romantic fantasy containing mature content. Okay, maybe I need to read this month. I'm on page 188. I'm actually attending an event to meet Stephanie Garber on Monday. Okay, I'm so jealous. Can I come with you? I saw that she had an event in San Diego, but it didn't line up. The timing wasn't right. I'm sure that I will meet her one day because I'm literally obsessed with her, but I'm so stinking jealous. And also, you are so far into this book. I'm only on page 88. I started reading it towards the beginning of these sprints. Obsessed. I need to read The Savage and the Swan. That's high on my TBR. Okay, Cami, if you want a buddy read, let me know because it actually sounds amazing. It honestly checks all the boxes. It really does. Like, as I was reading that synopsis, I was like, whoa, this sounds really good. And then Hades and Persephone, inspired by Hades and Persephone, like, you honestly could have just told me that from the beginning, and I would have been fully bought in from that point going forward. The Swan Princess is one of my fave childhood movies. All right, another movie that I need to add to my list. I wish we lived close to each other so we could hang out and go to events together. Literally same, Cami. If you ever come to California, let me know. Also, I feel like a lot of book events, like I'm trying to keep track of book events that are in my area, but so many are in San Diego, which isn't too far. I think it's like a 3-hour drive for me. I live in LA. And I'm like, okay, I need to just like make a plan and like buy tickets for some book events and just like go and have some fun with it because I've never been to any book event, like any I've never been to an author signing. Have I? No, I've never been to an author signing and then I can't think of what they're called. Like book festival is not the right word, but like book fairs, like the big book gatherings, like expos, I guess that's a better word for it. I need to go to those. They look so fun and so many people bring like just all of their books from a bunch of different authors that are going to be there and like get them signed and stuff like that. It sounds so fun. So I need to do that. Hi, Madison. Thank you so much for joining. We just finished our last sprint, but we're kind of just chatting and hanging out. So Madison, let me know what you're reading. What books are we most excited for about fall? The audiobook is on Scribd and I'm listening on 1.8 speed. Gotcha. Love that for you. This is a book that I'm trying to just like take my time with and savor because I already know that I'm going to read it physically like so stinking fast that I'm just trying to like take my time with it because who knows when Stephanie is going to come out with another book. I feel like even her just writing The Ballad of Never After took a long time and I just need her. I need her to publish books really, really quickly because I would literally read all of them right away. I love Swan Princess. Okay. I need to, well, I added The Savage and the Swan to my list, but I'm going to look up that movie and I'm going to keep my eye out for, books about the Swan Princess. Ooh. There's a couple that are catching my eye. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting so distracted. I've only gone to author events, but not a huge expo or anything. Yeah, I just need to get my life together. Like, what am I doing? I feel like going to author events would be really, really fun. Just like a book signing or anything, but the book expos look like so much stinking fun. And there's so much to do, and there's so many authors that go, and the like table talks. I thought it just all looks really cool. I need to get on that. I mean, I guess since I started getting back into reading. Like in 2020, when we were peak COVID, all in quarantine, stuff like that, that's when I started reading again. And so there weren't any author events, or like there wasn't any events that were going on that weren't I don't know, like Zoom calls or whatever, which I wasn't crazy about. But now that we're getting back to normal, I need to get on that. I'm working on No More to Tell by Karen McManus, and I have The Final Gambit next. That's funny. I was just talking about Karen McManus earlier. Someone else was reading. I think it was Chrissy. Chrissy was reading something by Karen McManus. And I was talking about One of Us is Lying. And I also want to watch, I think that's a new like Netflix series. I also want to watch that on Netflix. Also, I really want to read what's her name? Kate Alice Marshall's new book. I talked about it in my autumnal TBR. Kate Alice Marshall. But then I realized that it had a very similar plot line to The Inheritance Games. The Final Gambit, I think, is the last book in The Inheritance Games. I could be totally wrong. These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall is a very similar premise to The Inheritance Games. I'm just looking up. Hopefully I'm not incorrect. That The Final Gambit is the last book in the Inheritance Games. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I might just be talking crazy right now. I want to go to Book Bonanza, but the tickets were so hard to get. Yeah, I feel like you have to know about these book expos very far in advance and then be ready to like get your tickets as soon as the tickets go live, because I feel like they sell out so very quickly. And I know that there were a couple that were in Texas recently that like overbooked their tickets and stuff like that. I mean, it's all just craziness. Okay, perfect. I'm glad. Sometimes I get really worried that I'm like, I might be talking about something that is completely off base here. So awesome. Yeah, in These Fleeting Shadows, it's about this girl who her and her mom are not in contact with their extended family or anything like that. They've never been involved with them. But when her grandfather dies, he leaves the whole estate and inheritance and all this stuff to our main character. But the one condition on getting that inheritance and all the money and the house, the like manor and all that stuff, is that she has to stay in the house for 1 year. But the house is like haunted and very creepy, and she has like PTSD from living in the house when she was really, really young that she doesn't remember. And then when she goes back, it all like resurfaces and it gets really scary. So I feel like similar to The Inheritance Games, because I know that that main character also has to stay in the house for a year to like gain this inheritance. But I think that These Fleeting Shadows is more on the spooky side, whereas The Inheritance Games is much more of a like drama, like a drama suspense novel. They're both just easy, quick reads, exactly what I need right now. Yeah, I totally feel that. All right, my loves. Well, thanks for hanging with me and chatting with me. I'm going to hop off because I'm going to go get ready for dinner, and then my boyfriend should be home very shortly. And I'm very hungry and excited for Mexican food. But thank you so much for joining. I might actually do sprints tomorrow as well at some point, because I have the day off and I have just been in such a reading mood lately. I feel like I'm just reading everything and I want to read everything very quickly, all of it. So I might be doing sprints tomorrow. But thank you again so much for joining, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Please do search for arms I get home. It's most likely going to happen. They might be in the afternoon or maybe later in the evening. But yes, I love doing sprints with you guys. Okay. Have a beautiful, wonderful night. Bye, my friends.